Woohoo!
Oh. Hey there!
Ooh, good.
Welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits. Coming to you from the Recycle Garage in sunny Santa Cruz, California. Hey everyone, this is Liza. I exist. That was the old nugget from Zach. We got some new people here in the studio, so I want to get to introductions, but also I need to say somebody is missing, and that's Bagel, and that's because our Zoom computer's rebooting. So we're gonna bring Bagel in as soon as that computer's going.
He's swimming in Velveeta.
Yeah, he's there. But let's get to who is here. Of course, my favorite stump. It's Stumpy John.
What's up, motorcycle dorks? We are.
Come on, he's your favorite stump too, right?
No, I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What is your least favorite stump?
I probably fit in that category also.
You go backwards and forwards. Yes.
You know, when I was a kid, I saw somebody missing their big toe at the pool, and it kind of freaked me out.
So your least
It just looked weird. It looked really weird. Plus, I have trouble balancing.
No, I was going to say your big toe is invaluable for balance.
Yeah.
So your least favorite stump is that poor person that you saw at the pool.
Yeah.
Who's probably still alive, still missing their big toe, still freaking out children.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I'm glad my preference rating
And
is
of course-
over the lost toe.
Now I'll ask you, because sitting on the Classic Girl couch, it's Miss Emma. What is your least favorite stump?
You know, when I had my house in Prunedale, I had a eucalyptus tree. And it wasn't one of those nice eucalyptus that smelled nice. Mine smelled of cat piss. And the roots got so big, it started to push my garage over, so I had it cut down. But I still had the stump, and that was my least favorite stump.
I think we'll end that line of questioning. Joining Emma on the Classic Girl couch, it's Neil.
Hi there, folks.
Hi, Neil.
I'm an octave down today because I'm on the tail end of a cold.
Oh, you're bringing your sexy voice?
Yeah, I am. I'm bringing it.
Am I going to get sick?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm kidding. No, I'm well past it now.
All right, joining us for the first time.
No. That's
Second time.
Yeah.
I wasn't here, was I?
You weren't.
Okay. Joining us for the first time with me. Third time? Oh, for crying out loud. All right, not a noob then. It's Sophia.
Hello.
Hey, was I here? Maybe. Oh, it was a while ago.
It was the one where we talked about Motorcycle Mary and then Hawk Mazada.
Oh, right.
Do you prefer Sophia or Sophie?
Sophia.
Sophia.
That is her name.
Okay.
Don't wear it out.
Won't.
And taking Jim's seat because he's a little under the weather.
Yeah, this illness has struck him down too.
So we had to bring in somebody who can fill those big shoes.
God.
And fortunately, she was willing to get naked to fit the part. It's Arden.
Hello.
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 This is your first time here.
Yes, I am a noob.
You are a noob, but not a noob to riding.
No.
Should we just get into that?
Yeah,
Well,
yes.
you know what? No, hold on. Before we get into it, I got to make some announcements.
Oh, God.
You stop. Well, the first announcement is Emma.
Hello.
So, our rally is coming up April 3rd through 6th.
Oh, I'm
and
going to give things away.
You're going to be bringing it. What are you going to be bringing?
Well, I'm going to bring, I should be doing another of my infamous classes on tires, because everyone knows how much I love tires.
But you usually do tire changing.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to mix it up a bit, and we're going to talk a little bit about compounds, we're going to talk a little bit about treads, and I'm going to be joined by some off-road experts.
This is something I've always been curious about because I think, like a lot of people, I usually just go searching for the cheapest tire that on the size I need.
Right.
But then you get people who are like, oh, no, you have to use the Dunlop, or, oh, you have to use the Moto Z, or
And
like, oh, you have to use this. Like, why? But I don't understand why.
we're going to go through all that, and it's always a crowd pleaser. I'm going to go through all the information that's actually on the side of your tire. because not everybody's able to decipher it. So we're going to go over all that. Not only that, Mototown will be donating prizes, and I'll be giving them out indiscriminately throughout the weekend.
You are also on another prize for the raffle.
Am I really?
Yes, you are.
Lap dance?
No, no, that's my bag. I ordered some mugs.
Oh, the Zazzle mugs with me in bed with the Yamaha.
Yeah, motosexual mugs.
Yes, fantastic.
Mm-hmm. So, come to our rally, misfitsrally.org.com. Misfits Rally. Just Google Misfits Rally.
I'm going to do the hard pitch here because we do have some spaces left. And it's only a couple of weeks away, so stop arsing about. It's great value because it's a complete weekend. You're going to get schooling, you're going to get daytime rides, you're going to get evening rides, you're going to get dirt, you're going to get street, you're going to get catering. And what is it, Two Brothers Catering or Soul Brothers, whoever. They do a great job. I mean, man, they cook very, very well.
Also,
yes,
we're doing something new this year. We're offering one-day passes.
So
people can't come for the whole thing. One-day passes, but here's the other thing. So, I usually do the day rides for the street rides with you.
Yes.
Well, I've got Donovan Corbett filling in for the street ride on Saturday.
Okay.
So
and what are you doing?
I'm taking the Jeep to the upper ranch, the Jeep side of Hollister Hills.
On a motorcycle rally weekend?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Because it's a 4-wheel motorcycle. I've already made that declaration. So the Jeep will be there. So come on out and join us.
So if you want to bring some rotten tomatoes or some stinky eggs and chuck them at Liza's Jeep, I won't stop you.
Also, T-shirts, they're on order. They're coming. If you are on Patreon, we love you Patreon subscribers, $5 or more. Check your message in Patreon or your email. If you have not yet ordered your shirt, get your orders in. And if you want to become a subscriber, we've had some new subscriptions, so we really appreciate it. It's not too late to get your order in for the new T-shirt. And lastly, I'm going to Pakistan.
Yes.
In May.
Yes.
And there's some openings. Yes. So if anyone wants to come to Pakistan with me in May, let me know. You can either go to adifferentagenda.com to sign up or just shoot me an email at motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com. We're going to be riding the new CF Moto 450 Ibexes.
That's a big bike for Pakistan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of plastic
to break.
Yep.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be a completely different
It will be,
trip, I think. John, you have an announcement?
Yeah, a couple things. First thing is May 15th through 18th, we're having our spring Not the Desert rally in Nevada. I guess it might be the desert there. So it's another dirt bike event. So if you're interested in coming out, then email us at motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com.
Now, is this a Big Thumpers thing or
it's a
you and Jim thing?
Me and Jim thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then that same weekend is the Quail. We're going to miss it, but Miss Emma is planning to be at the Quail.
Well, as always, I shall be bringing the infamous Mototown tent out to the Quail. And once again, I shall be serving gin and tonics to the hoi polloi. So come and say hi.
Yep. And then also the first weekend of May is the one show up in Portland, and at least Liza, Bagel, and I will be there. Perhaps some others. So we'd love to see you all. Come out and see us while we're there and hang out in the corner and eat one of Liza's bananas.
Yes, thank you. One show. Always look forward to it. I'm gonna bring the suit.
Oh, you are?
The Hanoi suit.
Right on.
Oh God.
I'm gonna dress like Kanye West's girlfriend.
Are you both flying or are you driving up there?
Flying.
It's such, and there it is, because we were talking and you said, God, you should bring that.
I think you should.
Yeah, but it's a freaking 12-hour drive, John.
I know. Somebody will go with you. Neil will go.
It's a long drive.
I'm going to be in the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a long drive.
Well, lots of events coming up, but where I'll be in July.
Go on.
Yep. AMA Vintage Days.
Oh, of course you will.
What? Shout out to Cleveland Moto.
Gonna miss it.
Would not miss it.
Well, you know where I'll be in July? Riding the Stelvio
on
a BMW. not riding a Stelvio
I was going to say.
in the BMW pass, riding a BMW on the Stelvio pass.
It's not like the Ohio State. It's the Stelvio.
Yes.
So let's find out from Sophia and Arden. Have you guys been to a rally?
Not yet. This will be my first one.
Oh, you're going?
Ah!
Yes.
Oh, good show.
Oh, that's great.
Mine too. It'll be my
Oh, you're
son.
going too?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, how fun.
We have new victims.
We do.
Woo.
I'm going too.
Hey.
Yes.
Wait a minute. We're all going to be there?
Well, there you are then.
Ah, so much fun.
More reason for you to sign up.
But I just wanted to check in with you guys because, so Sophia, how long have you been riding now?
I got my license in November, so pretty much a month because I got my bike a month ago.
And yeah, the KLX?
KLX 250, yep.
How do you love it?
I really do love it. It's great.
That's
so
the only
far,
way
yeah.
to love it.
Mhm.
And then, Arden, you've been riding a while.
I've been riding since I was 6, about. Started on a Z50 at Prairie City.
Do you have a cool dad?
I do.
Yeah, there it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Cool dad.
Shout out,
Cool
Dad.
dad alert.
Yep. And how long have you been riding on the street?
I guess since I was, well, I'll say 15 and a half. But probably since I was maybe 13. I had a little, I think it was
Okay, how long have you had a license to ride?
since I was 16.
Good for you. You really had a cool dad.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What
And
was
you-
your first street bike?
The one I have right now, the XD
Oh,
250.
that thing's so perfect looking. You
It's
can't
perfect.
even
Wait,
tell.
how
yeah.
old are you now?
I'm 20.
Okay, so not that
That makes
long.
more
All right,
sense.
that
Yeah.
now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
So long ago. So
Well,
that's
no,
your
hang
first
on.
bike.
I mean, to own a bike at your
Yeah.
age for 4 years, that's like forever.
Yeah. Yeah. I did the CHP course to get my license when I was 15 and a half.
Right.
That was an interesting experience. But I kept up and then I walked into the DMV still 15 and a half to get my license. And that was also an interesting experience. It ended up taking about a year.
Why?
So,
Wait, why?
well, I was a 15 and a half year old girl walking in the DMV. I want to believe that it was
So
for
there's some
other reasons.
Some DMV
but
bias there.
yeah, but I pretty much walked in, and the first thing that I heard was, "Why do I feel like she should not be able to do this?" So
That's not there.
no,
That's frustrating.
yeah, it was very frustrating, but it taught me a lot. And the whole experience really it gave me a different kind of confidence and a different kind of approach to.
You say it taught you a lot. What did it teach you?
It taught me resilience.
Yeah.
It taught me to just keep going.
Mhm.
It was, a lot of visits to the DMV. By the end, I actually personally knew the women who took the pictures because they kept sending me to take more pictures.
Oh, wow.
And once I finally got it, they were just jumping up and down, screaming for me.
That's cool.
So,
Yeah.
so to paint a picture, this is doing the skills test multiple times, or the written, or both? Or?
No, so I rather than doing like the in-person skills test, I just had to do the CHP course
Right.
and then get my
Okay.
certification.
I see.
But to do the written exam, I walked in the first time to do it. I was actually there to just give them my certification and like get the process started. And I was like, why not just take the written exam? I took it, I failed it, and then
Oh,
I
no.
went back home and I studied and I went back and I got 100%. And then after that, it was just, I kept going in and they were like, oh, there was an issue with the system. Oh, there was an issue with this. It was just a constant like, oh, there was a different problem, a different setback. And I kept having to get renewals of my permit. That was really annoying.
So
But-
this is bureaucracy hell,
Mhm,
basically.
mhm,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had to learn that as a sophomore in high school.
Right.
But yeah. So I mean, at the beginning, of course, I was pretty sensitive about it. I was like, well, shoot, what am I doing? But just keeping with it, that taught me a lot.
So you're a student up at UC, correct?
Yes,
And is the motorcycle your only transportation?
that's correct.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Right on.
I love it.
It's a perfect way of getting around Santa Cruz, because Santa Cruz is essentially, it's a small town.
Mhm.
It has quite the traffic problem when glass gets out, and you can cut through.
Exactly.
Now,
So-
back home, South Dakota, North Dakota.
I'm from Sonoma County.
Oh,
Yeah.
California
Close,
girl.
close enough.
Close enough. So, I mean, lane splitting is a way of life for you.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, I really like the back roads.
Right.
I
So
have-
it doesn't become an issue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The back roads in Sonoma County have become like the back of my hand for me. And that also taught me a lot, I think. I
And-
mean, I just love it.
A lot of
And
great
it's
rides.
such a glorious neck of the woods as well. It
It's
really is.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanna ask Sophia some questions.
Oh, sure.
So, Sophia, you're a new writer, and I'm just going to describe you as somebody who's kind of shy.
Yeah, I'd say that's true.
Yeah. How did you first hear about the garage?
I was taking the intro course, the MSF course, and my instructor, Micah,
Yes.
introduced me to the garage because I was asking her, like, where do people usually get gear and stuff? I don't know. There's, like, no stores that I can really see in Santa Cruz. And she was like, oh, you just get it for free from the garage. I was like, oh, and I just came here and then could not stop coming back.
What is this magical place? In fact, the jacket you're wearing
And the boots, yeah.
from the garage.
And I will tell you a secret, that when Micah first started coming here, she was quieter than you are. Than
Really?
you were. Yeah.
She was in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, she was very, very shy. Very, very
She
shy.
thought I hated her.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I just didn't talk to her because she was in high school.
And I mean, this is classic Liza. It's like, why do I have time for this child? And so you just dealt with what you saw as more important people. And we have
Exactly.
seen, it is classic Liza.
Mm-hmm.
And we have seen Micah grow. So from little acorns, and here she is now, and here you are.
Very cool, yeah.
Well, I remember when you were new, you hadn't gotten a bike yet.
Yeah, I hadn't.
And Craig was nice enough to give you a bike.
Mm-hmm.
It turned out to be not such a big gift.
A little bit of a wild goose chase to try to track down a title that
What do we
Didn't
say
happen.
about free bikes?
Seldom free.
There's no such thing as a free bike. Yeah, so it was a free bike with no paperwork. But it kind of got you like playing with something, learning the ropes a bit.
Was that the Rebel 250 or
Mm-mm.
different bike?
a CBR 250DR.
And I remember in front of the whole crowd, you got on that bike
Oh, that was so embarrassing.
and she takes off to leave and popped the clutch and fell over.
Yep.
Yeah,
Dropped
but
it
that's-
immediately after
It
stalling
happens.
it. Immediately.
That's
It
part
happens.
of learning.
Mhm.
That's the whole part of learning.
Now, did we treat you like a moron?
No, you did not. You were very told me
Oh.
to take a deep breath, and if I wanted to keep the bike there and go home a different way, I could come back and drive it back ride
I
back
must have-
home a different
Must
way.
have been in good mood.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
remarkably good mood for you, Liza.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known you for
I didn't
many
want
years.
to leave it here. So, because
Well,
it seemed like
you were
the
riding an
cheapest
unplated bike, which was just,
Yeah, without mirrors either.
right, asking for, a
Mhm.
problem, which you then bought a new bike.
Yeah, I was realizing I did think about getting a bike last year, and then started saving up for a whole year, and I was like, I haven't spent the money on gear. I paid for the course, and might as well use the money for a bike that could go to the rally.
So what you just woke up one day and went, I want to ride a motorcycle now?
No, my friends had one, and Arden also. I met Arden over last summer, and I think you were the first girl that I had met that was riding a bike, and it was just cool that we're going to the same school, and you had this cool dual sport dirt bike, which seemed more fun to me than racing on the highways and things like that my other friends that's what they were doing with their bikes.
So the cool kids.
Well, I mean, like riding through the forest for me sounds way more cool than.
So had you not thought of riding until you saw other people that rode? Or was it seeing other women that ride that really sparked it in you?
I'd say kind of a bit of both, but yeah, it's definitely inspiring to see other women that were riding.
You know, I think the saddest part is even we're in the 21st century, but there still seems to be I don't know, always a surprise when you see a woman on a motorcycle. And it shouldn't be, because, I mean, women have been riding bikes since the beginning of motorcycles. But, you know, there's still these taboos and these perceived or not really perceived. I'm not saying restrictions to it, but it's always a surprise, isn't it? When you meet a woman on a motorcycle.
I mean, like half of the MSF course that I took was like non-male identifying
Right.
people. So like, and I had the second day 2 female instructors, so that was really cool to see. And they just seemed really excited that we were getting into motorcycling as well.
Yeah.
Now, I've got a question kind of for both of you. If I remember right, UC Santa Cruz does not allow you to keep a car on campus for the first year or 2 years?
Yeah, freshman and sophomore cannot.
But motorcycles you can, right? Or it does the same apply? You had your motorcycle from when you were a freshman, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, we were
both transfer students, so,
we're both
so I don't
transfers.
really know.
We both went to Santa Rosa Junior College.
Okay.
In Sonoma County.
So you came in as sophomores?
Yes.
As juniors.
Juniors. We're juniors, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what did your folks say when you decided to ride a motorcycle?
I actually haven't told them yet.
Oh, God almighty. Oh, no.
I mean, it wasn't like I got it a month ago, and I've been like,
Let's
don't know when a good
speculate.
time would be.
How do you think
I have
they're
a
going to
story like
react,
that.
Sophia?
I feel like my dad would be kind of cool because he would be sort of jealous. But my mom would probably freak out because her boyfriend was in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
And he also kind of mentioned it jokingly once that would be a good way to get to campus. And my mom like kind of already
Like,
did-
no.
yeah. She was smacking him for being a bad influence.
An
but, like,
enabler.
yeah. And that was like once in
Right.
passing, so
Now,
sure you're...
All
Arden,
it took.
we've already established your dad's obviously encouraged you to ride motorcycles from when you were very, very young. Your mom, any restriction from mom? Glad, just, kind of take it a little bit easy, and dad's going, go, 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 and mom's like, no, no, no.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's correct.
There you go. That doesn't surprise me. But where's she at now with you? I mean, obviously you've been riding for many, many years, and you still clearly have all your faculties, and you're still riding happily and safely.
Yeah, my mom, it was definitely, it was a little bit of a back and forth to kind of find, I think there's a middle ground that we still need to
Right.
reach, but because she has had a number of conversations with me where she's like, this terrifies me, and just kind of a bottom line thing. Like,
Right.
if something happens to you, like,
Yes.
I'm killing your dad, pretty much. It's
Right.
like, she's just like, it's my mom and I have a very good relationship, but this has,
It's a thorn in her side.
yeah.
Yes. And I mean, it's something that you may never truly resolve. And I don't mean to say that in a
Mhm.
negative way.
Right.
My mom would still prefer that I don't ride motorcycles. They say, Emma, when are you going to stop riding motorcycles? I'm like, well, Mom, I'm 63 now, so probably it's not likely to happen. She's, oh, but I live in hope, Emma, that one day you'll stop riding motorcycles. Not going to happen, Mom.
Yeah.
So what are your futures? Like, where do you want to go with this? Do you want to keep riding? And do you want to keep growing in it? Do you want a Harley? Do you want, what do you,
Yeah, I mean,
both of you, what do you think?
Yeah, let's do Sophia first. So, Sophia, if we visit Sophia, where are we, 2025 now? If we visit Sophia 2030, okay, what's Sophia 2030 going to be doing with motorcycles?
Oh, wow. I have no idea. I'm just like,
Emma, we don't know what you're going to be doing in 2030.
I know
None of us.
exactly what I'm going to be doing in 2030.
I mean, if
I'm
you're
going to
still
struggle
having
riding
the
bikes.
Misfit rallies and I'm still like
But yeah,
enjoying
I
the
mean-
first one, I'm sure I'll be doing that kind of thing.
But you don't. I think the point we're trying to make is you're not seeing as a motorcycle as just a temporary way to get around while you're at school.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
So, all right, I want to derail that line of questioning. Let's get to her experience now as a new rider. What classes have you both taken? Have you both taken classes?
Just the one course for me.
The one that you have to take, the total control
I guess
class
I didn't
there?
have to because I was over 21, but
And Arden, you took it too?
Yes.
The beginning riding class.
Yeah.
I just took it too.
Oh.
Yeah. And so as you're a new rider, you've been riding for a while on the street, but still there's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And when you come here, what things have you been learning from coming here?
oh, so many things like how to.
Besides how to curse in Vietnamese from Emma.
I don't think I've learned that yet, but like just like basic maintenance and like how to park the motorcycle and like turn it around and things like that. Just like quality of life things that are like not really taught in the course. Things like I don't
Well,
know
when you do a course, they have a very restricted amount of time, and they're
That's
going to
true.
focus on the things that will try and keep you alive when you leave. So I like to think we fill in a lot of the gaps of something as simple as maneuvering your bike around a parking lot to make it easier for
Exactly.
you. And I've always been a huge advocate. The complete motorcycle experience includes working on your bike. So if you're not working on your bike, even if it's just the most simple task, or just laying your hands on your bike and finding out where everything is, you're kind of missing out on one of the best parts of motorcycling. It's caring for your bike.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, just
Good.
learning how to do the different things from Charlie.
Yeah.
But actually, the first thing I learned after getting a bike was how to pick it up
Right.
after I dropping it immediately.
I keep learning that lesson, so you're not alone there.
So are you going to take more classes?
Yeah, I think so. Well, you said there's a bunch of classes at the Misfits Rally. Definitely plan on taking
Yeah,
a bunch of those.
I'm taking the intermediate class
Yes.
tomorrow,
Oh, you
I was
really?
looking into
I
that as
am.
well.
which will be interesting because I'm going on the Nikon. And in the class instructions, it says at the beginning of the class, you're going to have to take a test to establish that you're good enough to be able to ride. Simple things like go up and down the course, shifting through the gear.
Right.
Second one is weave through the cones and then do the lollipop test without your wheel leaving, going past the two lines.
Oh, that's going to be a tough one.
I'm taking the Nikon.
It's either going to be the easiest bike in the world to do that test on or a total disaster. And I really don't know which right now.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's going to be no middle ground with it.
Well, worst case scenario, they may put me onto one of the school bikes. I'll be on a little Rebel 250 or something.
How will you feel about having grown people laugh at you?
Well, I spend every weekend in the garage with my friends, so
There you go, tra-la-la.
yeah. Well, I hope you guys keep coming to the garage. We love to teach. There's so much to do. And Sophia, you finally jumped in and start getting your hands dirty and
that part was
wrenching and
almost
helping
more
people.
fun for me.
yeah. So come on down. That's what the garage is all about. I want to introduce our favorite misfit, Bagel, who's patiently been waiting this whole time.
Hello. Thanks
you
to the.
exist.
Hello,
Yes, there's-
Bagler. How's
there's-
Velveeta?
Oh, it's very moist and soggy up here right now.
Is
For
that you
beginning-
personally or the countryside?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Very good. Carry on, old chap. What? Hey?
Actually,
This is.
speaking of moist and soggy, it's been a while since we've done one of my games.
Oh God. Oh.
All right.
And I have a game. Well, I have two to play.
Is this going to be one of those Emma versus everyone else games?
Those are the best.
So we'll do this as a group thing. Go around the room.
Yes.
I've created Mad Libs. Do you remember Mad Libs?
Yes, I remember those.
Yes. Well, I wrote some Mad Libs for the show. So it's really simple. We're going to go around and I'm going to ask you for a word. I'm going to fill in the blank and then I'll read to you the story. Since Bagel just got here, we'll start with Bagel. Bagel, can
Yes.
you name a make and model of a motorcycle?
A Suzuki Hayabusa.
A Hayabusa.
Good choice.
Okay. John, can you name a finish?
Like paint? Or
There's a lot of finishes on a motorcycle. Can you name a finish?
chrome?
Okay. And Emma,
Hello.
can you name a part on a motorcycle?
Kickstart.
Let me say
Ha-ha!
Kickstarter. All right, Neil, can you name a motorcycle accessory?
Sissy bar.
Nice.
Ooh, that's good. All right, let's go. Sophia, can you name a body part?
Like a motorcycle body part, human body part.
A body part. A
Body part.
human body part.
Okay. Hands.
Okay. All right, Arden, I need a cc size of an engine.
Let's do 750.
Okay. All right, Bagel, name an emotion.
Sad.
The sobbing scooterist, of course.
Exactly.
your natural state of
All
affairs.
right, John, a pronoun?
Me. Is that a pronoun?
No, I don't.
That's-
Is it? No, I need a pronoun.
They.
Okay, that'll work. I'm going to change it to them if that's okay.
That's fine.
I need a name.
Rufus.
Okay. All right, Neil, a motorcycle part?
Handlebar.
Okay. All right, Sophia, a noise you might hear come from a human.
Tra-la-la.
You might hear that come from me.
Yes, yes.
Tra-la-la.
I heard other noises
Okay.
coming from you earlier.
Yes.
Arden, can you name a misfit?
Liza.
That's me.
Oh, that's
Aw,
so
how
sweet.
sweet.
Yeah.
All right, then Bagel, can you name a body part?
Spleen.
Okay. John, a place.
Antarctica.
And Emma, an article of clothing.
Sock.
Okay, are you ready to hear?
Yep.
Oh,
the
yes.
story?
Ready.
I remember the first time I saw the Hayabusa. I was immediately drawn to it. I loved the way the chrome Kickstarter sparkled in the sun. I walked up to it and reached out to touch the sissy bar and immediately felt it tingling in my hands. I threw a leg over, feeling all of the 750 cc's between my legs. I hit the starter button and felt sad as it came to life. And knew right away I was in love. I decided to name them Rufus as I imagined all the places we would visit. I felt an overwhelming urge to lick the handlebar, and upon doing so, heard a loud tra-la-la. I quickly turned around to see Liza staring at me and giving me the sign to get out of here with their spleen. I looked around and realized that I was in the Antarctica, and inexplicably, my socks were soaking wet. Time to run!
Good Lord. That's
Wow.
quite the story. Written by AI, no doubt.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let's do one more.
Okay.
All right, Neil. I think we left off. I need a time of year.
Spring.
Okay. All right, and Sophia. Oh, name. Well, it was name 2 bikes you've owned. I guess you could name 2 bikes you've owned.
CBR 250R, KLX 250.
250R and a KLX 250. All right, and Arden, name a bike you've never owned.
Ninja 400.
Okay, Bagel.
Yes.
Name something that makes a sound on a motorcycle.
How about the exhaust?
Okay. All right. John, name a misfit.
Bagel.
Okay. Emma, name an exotic meat.
Wagyu.
Wagyu. And Neil, name a place that would have a parking lot.
Walmart.
All right. And Sophia, a verb.
Skip.
Okay. All right. Arden, a business you frequent.
Safeway.
Okay, that works. And Bagel, a synonym for destroying.
Pulverizing.
I like that. All right, John, a body part.
Pee-pee.
Why say it?
Okay. Emma, name an action.
Kick.
Ooh, okay. And Neil, a tool from the garage.
Mallet.
Ooh. All right. Sophia, a synonym for wave.
Like ocean?
Okay.
Mhm.
Tide.
Okay. And Arden, another word for defecate.
Can we curse?
Yep.
Yes.
Crap.
Okay. And then Bagel, a natural disaster.
Bagel's laundry day.
Vindaloo Day.
Let's go with volcanic eruption.
All right. All right. Are you guys ready to hear the story?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Was this even worth it? Let's see. All right. What a beautiful spring day for a ride. I head out to the garage to pick which bike I want to ride today. In my garage, I have a few bikes to choose from that include a CBR 250R and a KLX 250R, but instead I decide to go with the Ninja 400 because I love the sound of its exhaust. I call Bagel and see if they want to meet me for Wagyu tacos from the food truck over at the Walmart. Live to ride, ride to skip is our motto, after all. After the meal, we head over to Safeway to use the bathroom because something isn't feeling right. I feel bad after pulverizing the bathroom. My pee-pee is aching and it's making it uncomfortable to ride. I find that if I kick a mallet into my pants, it makes it bearable enough to ride. We head on down the road, and finally I let out the largest fart imaginable and feel a tide of relief. Then suddenly in my helmet comms, I hear Bagel say, "Did you just crap in your pants, or was that a volcanic eruption?" Ta-dum.
Ta-da.
It's
Well
a
done.
work of
Nice.
great fiction.
Yeah?
It really is.
And I
It's
want
like
you to know, I
Wordsworth.
did not use AI. I wrote that myself.
No, extraordinary. It really is. It's like Shakespeare.
You know what else is like Shakespeare?
Go on, then.
Hostile takeovers.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Well, so we were talking about...
Is that a good segue?
Yeah, I think it'll do. I haven't done a history hole in a while, have I? I
don't think so.
I would like to give my intro to this, if
yes,
it's okay.
No, knock yourself out.
Even though you find
because it may
mine is. I know I get accused of Harley bashing, but you know what? This is my opinion. So the other day, John and I were at a Harley Davidson dealership, Thunder Road, and House of Thunder in Morgan Hill.
Brother.
I love going to Harley dealerships. They're so nice there, and they give you like drinks, and they have a couch and sparkly things to look at.
Did you have to lay it down because of the clippings?
No.
No, okay, very good.
But something I was talking about as we were looking at all the bikes is how over the years, Harley Davidson has tried to diversify their lineup. Like you look at BMW, right? How they have the same engine in so many different bikes, and as many other brands do. And Harley Davidson, each time they try to come out with something like the Buell or the Livewire, or the
Pan America.
The Pan America. It's not always really accepted by their market and thus by their dealerships, because their dealerships are forced to buy these models. Remember when the Street 500 and 750 came out, people were pissed because they're forced to buy it. They can't choose to bring it in or not. If you have the Harley lineup, you have to have it. So maybe part of it is, Harley Davidson's politics of how they do that, but people oftentimes don't want it. The dealerships don't want it. In the cases of Buell, they just, they got kicked out the door. And Livewire became a separate company. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the Pan America becomes its own side thing too. But Harley Davidson built a good bike. We've ridden it. It's a legit bike. Mm-hmm. It gets respect. And I just wonder, about the future of Harley Davidson when they're not really able to diversify. And so we were looking at history. There has been diversity before in Harley Davidson.
Well, no, I mean...
And I'm curious, just look at the past and let's see, how did that work out for them in the past?
So originally, Liza came to me early in the week and she said, look, why don't you do a history hole on AMF and Harley Davidson? And I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a history hole on hostile and not so hostile takeovers throughout the motorcycle industry. But once I actually got into the AMF thing, I think it's interesting enough to stand on its own.
And what came before AMF? Are you not covering Aramaki?
Well, it is part of it.
Okay. Yeah,
we're going to talk about
because it's
Aramaki.
an interesting history, and a lot of people aren't really aware of it. They see these bikes that don't look like anything they've seen before, and they're like, "What's that?"
Well, I'm going to talk when we talk about this, and it's going to be it's one of my typical things where we go off on various tangents. Everything hopefully will make sense. So first off, we're going to talk about Harley Davidson themselves, and a lot of the history about Harley Davidson. It was formed in 1903. Mm-hmm. And there was a Harley and there was a Davidson. They made bikes. And to an extent, it remained in family control until 1965. What they did in 1965 is they went public because they needed money. And if you have a large enough company and you need an input of cash, when you go public with it, now people can start buying shares in the company, and you get this massive influx of cash. The family, the original founding family, so basically the descendants of.
You would think there would have been a lot of them.
Well,
between the Davidsons and Harley.
You would be surprised. Families often, we don't want anything to do with that side, or we've got no interest in this, whatever. But nevertheless, in 1965, the Harley Davidson company went public. However, the family maintained 55% interest in it. So basically, they kept control. Now, we've talked at length many, many times on this podcast about how tumultuous the 60s were in terms of motorcycling.
Would you say, in terms of motorcycling, it was and still is probably the most significant decade for change?
Well, when you look at, and it wasn't just motorcycling, if you look at the world in 1961 and the world in 1969, it was a different fucking planet.
Yeah.
Everything.
You can see that on Mad Men, the TV show. How much it changed.
Everything just changed to this enormous, and it was a time of great turmoil, which is good and bad. And Harley Davidson suffered like everybody else. Now, in the mid-60s, so we have the Harley Davidson company going public in order to make money, and the family owning 55% interest. And we're gonna talk about how that was until 1969. But you wanted to talk about the little bikes. And actually, I'm not going to introduce them now. We'll talk about the takeover first.
The question is, because right now, I told you the other day when I took the beginning class, I rode one of the little Harley 350s,
yes,
which aren't for sale here because I don't think they think there's enough of a demand for them. But it's a great little bike.
Right.
Well, we've been here before.
You know, we've been here many times before. Harley Davidson post-war have always been in the business of making little bikes. Always. And sometimes they make them in-house. Sometimes they contract out. Now, immediately after the Second World War, there was this delightful little German dispatch rider bike, the DKW. And as part of war reparations, the design of that engine, of that bike complete, was distributed amongst the Allies. And in England, it became the BSA Bantam.
Oh, I didn't
in
know that.
America,
I didn't know that either.
it became the Harley Davidson Hummer, the 125. Essentially the same bike. So Harley Davidson have always been very, very interested in small bikes because the idea is, you know, you sell bikes to everybody. This was Soichiro Honda's mantra. I will make a bike for everyone. He really went to the extremes with that. Harley Davidson was like, we're going to have a couple of small bikes. We're going to have big bikes. Now, you wanted to talk about the Air Mackies. Harley Davidson really had a controlling interest in Air Mackie, who made some very, very fine small capacity bikes in Italy from, I think, 61 or 62. They contracted and bought heavily into Air Mackie. So Air Mackie Harley Davidsons have been part of the lineup since the very early 60s.
How collectible are they today?
Oh, very collectible.
Because you don't see them at many. I don't think they get the respect that they
Well,
do.
some do and some don't. We're
You know
going to
what I
come.
mean?
We're going to come to that. You know, little Harley Davidson two strokes have never got the respect they really perhaps should get.
Yeah.
But Air Mackie is very, very fine four strokes too.
And let's not forget the Harley Topper as well.
Well, yeah,
Gotta
of
get
course.
that in.
Good.
Wait, to the ladies on the other side of the room, do you know what the Harley Topper is? I recommend you pull out your phone and take a look.
The Harley Topper is a slice of early 1960s Americana, if ever there was one. But yeah, it's so Harley Davidson have always been in this business. So we got off on this Air Mackie tangent. So the late 60s were a very, very interesting
Hold on.
time.
They're both grinning now. As they're like, what do you think of the Harley
Of course,
Topper?
Bagel knows.
Yeah, of course Bagel knows it. So the late 60s were a very, very interesting time for motorcycling. And Harley Davidson found themselves being pounded a little bit by British imports. I mean, Triumph had some enormously good bikes, as did BSA, as did Norton. There were European offerings as well. Of course, Honda brought out the 750, and once again, we've talked extensively how the 750 Honda changed the world. So basically, to cut a long story short, Harley Davidson in 1969 were broke. I mean, literally on the verge of bankruptcy. And
What were the, like, was that the Electroglide? Like, what were the big bikes then?
the Electroglide was pretty much it. You had,
And the Sportster.
the Sportster's been around since the very early
57,
50s.
I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So really a two-brand American, and then the imports.
And what engine was up to then? Was it the Panhead?
No, that was wait a minute. So it'd be
Shovel.
69 would be the shovel.
Okay, the shovel line.
Yeah, it's a shovel.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course the Sportster was what's called the Ironhead.
Yes.
So they needed money, and they needed money quite quickly because they were hemorrhaging the old money. Now, let's talk a little bit about AMF. Because they're an interesting company.
You guys have no idea. Do you know the company? Have you heard of AMF before?
Okay. So AMF stands for American Machine and Foundry. And AMF were in the leisure business. They are actually an older company than Harley Davidson.
Oh, wow.
How about that?
Didn't know that.
They were
Wow.
founded in 1900 by Rufus Patterson Jr.,
There's that
which
name.
would imply there was a Rufus Patterson Sr. who predated him, I would have thought.
And I want to be clear. So this comes after the Aramaki, but Aramaki didn't own Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson bought Aramaki?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where we're at. So
Yeah,
they
you've got to
bought
make sure
Aramaki.
they... Yeah. So anyway, AMF, founded in 1900 by Rufus Patterson Jr. I'm sure Rufus Patterson Sr. was enormously proud of him. And they made their money making automatic cigarette machines. But they have always been in the business of leisure. And a lot of people over the years have said to me, Emma, what the hell as a bowling alley manufacturer? Because in later years, AMF made a big name for themselves, basically making bowling alleys.
They made bowling alleys, bowling pins, say AMF. That's however I knew
everything.
them. Bowling balls.
If you could basically buy a derelict building and with parts from the AMF catalog, make a bowling alley.
Did they own
Yeah.
Brunswick or it's
Yes.
a separate company?
They owned oh my God, they owned a lot of companies, of which Brunswick were one of them. They were yacht manufacturers as well.
So they got that big bowling money.
Yes. And they made luxury yachts. There's a
Wow.
company called Hatteras. And if you were into boats, you'd know that Hatteras is quite the thing. And that was AMF as well. But they saw themselves in the leisure business. We are in the leisure business. So picking up Harley Davidson was quite natural for them. But they nearly didn't get it.
Well,
I mean, this was it was enormously controversial.
and we want to be clear. Harley Davidson, like Indian, might have been done at this point, right?
But they were still being picky.
Okay.
So I'm going to dispel something right now. A lot of people will probably call in and complain when I actually say this
Please
and say
do.
AMF actually finished, the quality control on Harley Davidson. But Harley Davidson picked AMF, and quite controversially as well, because in October 1968, an offer came in from Harley Davidson, and a very generous offer as well, from another huge leisure conglomerate.
From Harley Davidson or for Harley Davidson?
For Harley
For
Davidson.
Okay.
From Banger Punter Corporation.
Hold on.
Banger punter?
Banger punt. All right.
BANGOR
Banger.
Punter.
Let me ask you,
Bangor.
does their name in any way imply what they manufactured?
Nope. They were also in the leisure business. Now, the 1960s, basically...
Sounds like what you'd call a cheerleader.
Right. Oh, God almighty.
Banger punter.
So, what you have to understand is the business climate in America and actually worldwide in the 1960s. Because what you had, a lot of what we call the mom and pop stores.
Oh.
or the not mom and pop stores, the mom and pop manufacturing stores, manufacturing facilities that were still under control of families who founded them, by fathers, by grandfathers, were being swallowed up by these giant corporations. And
Looks
AMF were just one of them, and Banger Punter was another one of them.
Looks like they own Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, they own a lot.
Piper Aircraft.
Yeah, Piper.
Those would be those small, American companies. that were
American
getting bought
companies,
up.
both of these companies, AMF and Banger, were interested in American companies. And Harley Davidson wanted to sell to an American company to keep it within America. And of course, why not? It's a known American brand. Fiercely loyal customers, the customer base back then. Now Harley Davidson, they're worldwide, but back then, the majority of Harley Davidsons were sold in America. So they wanted an American brand. So Banger came in with an offer in October 68 of, I think it was $33 a share for the controlling interests of the company, which came out of like 22 million, which is about 180 million now. And Harley Davidson were kind of vacillating over it. And they said, well, let's put it to the board. And so then AMF came in with a slightly better offer, but it was tax-free. And then Banger came in with a better offer, and AMF came in with a better offer. And then finally, Banger came in with a very generous offer. I think $49.50 a share, tax free, which came out to about 45 million, which is, you're talking well over 300 million today. And inexplicably, the board at Harley Davidson still went with AMF.
Why? Do you know?
Nobody knows to this day.
Huh?
I don't know. Every single person involved in that deal has shuffled off their mortal coil now. So there's nobody we can call and say, why was that deal made? It's a very, very interesting piece of history. There's talk that the hall that the board of directors meeting was being held in, they wanted to host their Christmas party, so they ended the session early. Wouldn't that be an irony that AMF got Harley Davidson because of a Christmas party?
And do you remember what their bid was?
I think AMF's final bid was something like 48 a share.
So buck a share.
Yeah.
Less. Yeah.
We don't know, but maybe it was something, I assume, along the lines of, we don't want to change you. We just want you to be what you are.
Well, here's the thing. You never know the pitch until you get it. In terms of another takeover, and, occasionally I'll use things as an example. When Jaguar came up for sale in the late 80s, General Motors were desperate to buy it because they saw it as a prestige brand. And Jaguar had some inside knowledge about how GM did business, and they actively...
Was that the Lee Iacocca years?
No, he was Ford.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, he was
Ford and Chrysler.
Well,
Right.
Chrysler, yeah.
And Jaguar knew how GM did business and really didn't want any part of it.
All you have
So
to
they
see is Roger and me and know that.
Right.
Yeah.
They actively courted Ford. And in the end, it was a perfect marriage because Ford, there were Ford Jaguar products, but the big ones, the big XJs, were always left under Jag ownership. And Ford said, look, we're just going to teach you how to build these things. And we're not going to show you anything more than how to build them profitably. So it was a wonderful thing. General Motors got pissed, bought Saab, and we know how that ended.
Yep.
Yeah.
They killed them in a heartbeat.
Ruined a good brand.
Right. So, there may have been something like that. In the end, AMF really did a dirty on Harley, and we'll talk about that a little bit as well.
Before you get into that, I wanted to double back real quick on the Aramaki. So how long were those years? And the bikes that they rebadged as Harley that were Aramaki, were they successful or not? Because
Yes, I mean, of course they
the
were.
reason they brought them in was to be competitive with all the European bikes, right?
Well, yes and no. I mean,
And Asian bikes.
well, yeah.
I mean, because
Look.
they came and then they just went away.
No, they never went away.
They didn't.
No.
What is there still
Well, you're getting
influence
ahead
from those
of
years now?
Well, you're getting ahead of yourself.
Well, it seemed like once you get into the AMF years that it seemed to.
No,
Okay,
they were
That's
always
what I
there.
wanted. Okay,
No, they were always there. The bikes themselves changed a little bit. And the AMF years weren't all bad. So let's talk about what happened with AMF after AMF took over the company. So AMF took over the company and they got this huge injection of capital. And AMF said, well, we're not going to change how you do things. Well, that was not how things worked out. So one of the first things AMF did was they realized that Harley Davidson was very, very inefficient in the way they built bikes. And Harley Davidson built bikes like they did in the 1940s.
still kind of by hand.
Not so much that,
No.
is you had this giant pool of parts. In a lot of cases, 25% more than what you needed for production. And so as the bikes rolled down the line, you always had lots and lots of parts to hand. So the bikes would be built, and there you go. It's a great way of building things, but it's very inefficient because you need this huge stockpile of parts, all of which cost money to build or cost money to buy if you're buying them in from other manufacturers. You need space for them, so factories tend to be far bigger than they need to be. So one of the first things that AMF did was they built a new factory in York, Pennsylvania, pulled major manufacturing out of Milwaukee, which pissed off the union guys at Milwaukee. New factory. And what they did was they streamlined the production down so the parts were basically, there was only enough parts to make the bikes running down the line. The problem is if there is a hiccup with any part, it can be a complete engine assembly or a transmission assembly. It might be something as simple as a friggin' inner tube. Production stops.
So this was an assembly line that was basically created by Ford, right?
Yes, I mean...
I've been like in Pakistan. I've been to the Honda plant there.
Right,
I've seen it go down the line.
Yeah, and you've seen the stockpile of parts to build the bikes.
Each person has only got certain things they're putting on as it
Right, but you've seen the stockpile of parts behind them. We're not talking about what they're doing.
Right.
We're talking about the stockpile of parts behind them. Rather than have 100 gas tanks behind them, they've got 2.
Oh.
Just in time manufacturing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then the tanks come in as the bikes are rolling down the line and becomes this very, very complex chain, which breaks down a lot. So a lot of the problems with the AMF bikes were inherent at the York, Pennsylvania factory. And there are tales of bikes being 20% incomplete when they rolled off the end of the line. And then dealers scrambling to find parts to finish these bikes.
They would ship them out.
Wow. Incomplete.
So I know that this is the years that had a bad rap. I mean, John, what's the word on the street? AMF years.
It's shitty years. Don't buy them. I know that's... But
I know Emma takes a great offense at this.
Not a bad bike, though.
Well, yeah, and it's not so much that I take offense at this. I think we need to put it into perspective. We can't talk about Japanese bikes of the same period because Japanese bikes, they've always been their own thing. The Japanese industrial giants have always gone their own way. So in order to really have a good perspective of an AMF bike, we have to compare them to similar products. We have to compare apples with apples.
You have a sweet spot for the AMF years, don't
I do
you?
indeed. But here's the thing. Is an AMF Harley Davidson any worse in quality than a mid-70s Triumph Bonneville or Norton Commando?
No.
No, of course it's not. Or even a BMW. Let me tell you something about BMWs. They weren't that well made in the mid-70s either.
neither were Chevys and Fords, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It was a lot of it was endemic of the time. I'll tell you about my sweet spot for AMF Harley Davidsons. My opinion, they are the most handsome Harley Davidsons ever made.
We all agree. And
Agreed.
I've got, do you guys see that box of Christmas ornaments up there?
Right.
Those are the AMF graphics. That it's so cool to see bikes today, new bikes.
Right.
They're putting them back on.
There's no secret why my Superglide looks like it does. It's my homage to the AMF bikes.
But you're saying that everyone was making a bad bike then. But I mean, you rode my 1976 original KZ400 today.
Japanese are a different ballgame.
But
Mhm.
I just said
Yeah.
you can't include the Japanese
Okay.
manufacturers because they've always done their own thing. You know, Japan have had a very, very singular way of making anything. They always spend a huge amount of money on R&D, so you always get up-to-the-minute products. And the difference between a Japanese production, any vehicle, or any machine that comes off a production line in Japan, is there's so many more stations for quality control.
Just curious, Bagel, scooters of the same era, did they follow the same kind of ailments, manufacturing ailments?
Yes.
Well, I don't know if they were the same elements with the same sort of logistics problems that AMF had, but I know that the Vespas in the 70s had all kinds of manufacturing problems because the unions were on strike constantly. So production was just stop and go and stop and go. There were also some issues with quality of parts that were supplied to them as well. You know, so
Well, I mean, you said a lot of it had to do with what day of the week it was assembled.
Right,
Yes.
exactly. I mean,
UK was the same way.
you know,
yeah.
A lot of the production lines, not just in America, yes.
I just wanted to clarify for Arden and Sophia. Do you understand when I say it depends on what day of the week it was assembled? You don't want to buy a bike that was assembled on a Friday.
Well, I'm going to clarify that.
Or
If-
Monday.
Or a Monday.
Okay,
Yep.
there's some basis on that, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with the mood that the workforce are in. It is everything to do with production surpluses of parts. By Friday afternoon, your parts may be running incredibly thin. And you've got to get so many motorcycles off the line. If a bike was going to come off the line incomplete, missing its turn signals, missing its headlight, missing its fender, it's going to be on a Friday. Conversely, on a Monday, the weekend supplies haven't come in yet. So you might be still sending incomplete bikes out to meet your quota for the bikes going out, and you haven't received the parts yet to assemble them. And that's where the Monday morning and the Friday afternoon bikes come from. It's parts quotas. It's as simple as that. Now, we've talked about all the doom and gloom. We've talked about my fondness for AMF bikes, but it wasn't all doom and gloom. Because AMF did bring money into Harley Davidson, a lot of money. And there were some killer bikes that were built. So let me think. Where should we start? Let's start in...
When was the CR?
We're going to come to that.
Because that's one of my favorites.
Slow down. We're
Ooh.
going to come to the CR.
There's
because
a
there's
CR
the-
above me somewhere.
Yes, just
Where is it? Where is it?
just wait a
Yeah,
minute.
so they can see.
Well, we're going to come to the CR.
Okay.
Although it was a terrible seller at the time. 1971. Let's talk about 1971. So 1971, arguably the finest Air Mackie ever made.
Hmm?
So 350 SX came in. And that was AMF money. It was AMF throwing money at Air Mackie to build the biggest flat single they'd ever done, the 350 SX.
Another thing we found, John was searching, a big reason the Aramakis were brought into Harley Davidson
Yes.
was for their racing.
Right, because they had racing pedigree.
Yes.
And let me give you a little update here. So Aramaki years, They had the RR250 and the RR350, two stirrup twin-cylinder race bikes that were highly successful in GP racing.
Yes.
74 through 76, Walter Villa riding three consecutive 250cc Grand Prix, 74, 75, and 76, and a 350cc title in 76.
Right.
So, and they actually say that they were on par with the Japanese.
Oh,
bikes
absolutely.
at that time.
But that was an autonomous racing. I mean, we're talking about the production. So, also in 71, so we had 350SX boat tail super glide.
The XR750 too.
Yes.
It's a flat tracker.
Yep. All through 1971, banner year. You could go out and buy a Harley Davidson golf cart if you were cool enough. Can you imagine having
Did it have a V twin?
No, it was electric, you bonehead. But you could get it in the Stars and Stripes livery. And because you had sufficient money for basically specials, Harley Davidson were able in 1976. What happened in 1976?
Bicentennial.
It was America's birthday. And so Harley Davidson were able to offer all these very, very limited bicentennial bikes with a very, very special paint jobs and a lot of one-off things put on them because of AMF money.
I just found a Harley Davidson I want.
Oh, God, the X90s. Yes, a little mini bike.
They made a mini bike.
They did.
Harley
indeed.
Davidson made a mini bike.
Yes, they did.
See? They had diverse things.
They had a lot of diverse things. They made a moped. Harley Davidson didn't make a moped, but AMF, remember, AMF are in the leisure business.
Yep.
So including a moped was very much part of their manifesto.
And they had small dirt bikes,
Right.
too. The 100 repeat.
Exactly. I'm going to
And the
talk
Baja.
about the rarest special of them all. It's controversial then. It's controversial now. You couldn't even buy it in the
What?
North. It's the Confederate.
The Harley Davidson moped. That is a cool looking bike.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
The Confederate?
1977. Confederate special. The Confederate was actually a trim level you could get on a Sportster or a Superglide or a Lowrider in 1977. And they only made, I want to say they only made about 600 of them. Very controversial. It had the stars and bars on it. And it was really an answer to, but it was factory. It was an answer to the bicentennials. Yeah, look up Harley Davidson Confederate 1970.
1977. They just missed it by 1 year.
Well, you know, the bicentennial was 76 and the Confederates were 77.
So this is just a sporty, right?
Yeah, they came in
With a
Superglide.
rebel battle flag on the
Yeah,
tank.
and then they came in Superglide as well. And then we come to the XLCR. And the XLCR once again was AMF money, and it was the Cafe Racer. And you've got an example of one up there, which I'm looking at right now. It is a very cool looking bike. And back in the late 70s, Cafe Racer culture was big in America. And why on earth not make a cool factory cafe bike? And so they did.
That's very rare now, isn't it?
Very collectible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't.
But see, and this is just going back to what I said about how there's not a lot of diversity when you go in a Harley Davidson shop. But they had it. They had mopeds and mini bikes and scooters and cafe racers and dirt bikes.
Right.
They had it all.
Right.
What happened?
So they were broke again.
Because they were making too many motorcycles.
Well, no, I mean, 1981,
It was recession.
it was a recession. I mean,
Starting
America
in
was in recession.
1970s, yeah.
Late 70s and right around 1980, you know, the country was in recession. A lot of people were broke.
Mortgage rates are in the 15 to 17% range.
Right. And loans for motorcycles were in a huge range. And the thing is, Harleys have always been expensive. So you needed a loan to buy a Harley Davidson. And so basically AMF were an investment company. Yes, they were in the leisure business, though they were in an investment company, and they wanted out.
It's funny. So I never really thought about the overlap. I always thought Aramaki and then the AMF years were different, but this was an absolute overlap.
It was the AMF bikes were always there.
Mm.
And they changed because after the 350, I think the last year for the 350 flat twin was 76. And then the two-stroke Kagivas came in,
Right.
which were also badged as Harley-Davidsons, which had direct lineage back to Aramaki. But now they were under the parent control of Kagiva.
Right.
And, they're not quite as charming as the flat single bikes, but again, really handsome bikes. If you look up a 77 Harley-Davidson SST 250, just a gorgeous bike. Really good, fantastic styling of the time.
It looks like my KZ400.
But a really nicely styled bike.
Or actually, it looks a little bit more like the SR500, but they're all about that same.
Yeah, that's not, I mean, for that year,
Right?
that's a decent looking bike.
It's a nice looking bike.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. You can find a bike that looks exactly like this in a lot of third world countries right now.
Yeah, you
Right.
can. Yep.
But in 77,
Disc brake in front.
yeah, disc brake in front. In 77, that was something. Not the best quality, but then what was? So, 1981. A group of investors, including Willie G. Davidson,
Right.
bought it back. And they paid $80 million.
I remember seeing Willie G at Legend of the Motorcycle.
Yes. Well, he was younger then,
Yeah. He was one of the judges. This was the pre-Quail show.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I think it was the right move at the time. It wasn't the end of Harley Davidson's financial problems. And in 84,
The tariff year, right?
yeah, 84, the tariff year,
750cc plus.
Citibank, who'd been financing a lot of it, pulled the plug and said, look, we're done with you guys. And a private investor stepped up who I desperately tried to find out who it was, but nobody was saying. So, it wasn't the end in 81 of their troubles, but it got back into family ownership. And, the early 80s Harley Davidsons, now you've got the Evos coming in. You basically got the birth of modern Harley Davidsons as we know them, and quality control went up, and they got the production line going, so at least complete bikes were rolling
And
off.
moved back to Milwaukee.
Yep.
They kept the York reopened, right?
Yes, for many years.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they closed it, a few years ago?
Yeah, it was open for a long time, but of
Right.
course they changed the way, it was a very modern factory when it was new, but they never did any updating in it in Milwaukee. Under the ownership of the board of directors under Willie G, Milwaukee became the flagship.
Mm-hmm.
And, AMF suffered from a lot of the problems that these corporations do. Yes.
The Aramaki bikes, were they being manufactured here? Or
No.
they're being manufactured in Italy and
Yes.
then rebadged here?
Yes.
So all those bikes are being shipped over.
Yeah.
I don't think they were rebadged. I just think they were.
No, they just came off the line as
As
Harley
Harleys,
Davidsons in
Oh, they
Italy.
weren't also selling them?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They were just badged. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. So, between 1972 and 1981,
Mm-hmm.
AMF got through 7 presidents. And, now remember, this is 1970s money. They were reportedly losing $8 million a year, which is about 40-50 million in today's money. So losing $1 million a week
Wow.
throughout its history. And, it's AMF didn't survive either. None of these giant corporations really did in the form that they were in back then, and the 80s became the territory of really the stock investors.
Mm-hmm.
Private equity, leveraged buyouts, where they would saddle the acquired company with debt.
Right.
All these little diversified bikes.
Yeah.
Were they selling or not?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But then why did they disappear?
Because
Well, they had to liquidate Aramaki, I think, for money, right?
Right, exactly.
So they
And
sold off Aramaki, so they no longer had them
They were going to build their own. Yeah.
It boils down to money. You can make a great product, you can make a lousy product, but the fact of the matter is, if you don't sell enough of those products to remain profitable, something's got to give. This is how business works. You've got to be profitable. And it's 1969, Harley Davidson simply weren't profitable. And we can look back at that time. We can say, yes, it was because of this. Yes, it was because of this. And once again, in 1981, Harley Davidson weren't profitable. That was, in a lot of ways, the 1981 was far more serious because that took out Triumph. Right. The American market became so toxic for the traditional brands in the early 80s. And these were the tariff years.
People may not understand what happened those years, so why don't you explain that for them?
Well, I think that's going to be a history hole for its,
worth it, yeah.
On its own, because it was such a tumultuous time in American motorcycling. And I'd like to devote a whole history hole to that, because I really just want to devote this to the AMF years of Harley Davidson. But the 1981 downturn was enough really to take out Triumph completely, and Triumph never recovered from that.
Wow.
Right.
And it soldiered on for a couple of years, but then it was done. Triumph the number one market has always been America, and it hit them so hard.
Were they owned by Villiers at that time? For the
NVT? No, NVT. No, NVT had gone by the wayside at
like 76 or so, I think.
Yeah, before that, 75, and I think Triumph were under their own ownership. It was basically a factory buyout. And they were producing their own bikes.
But Harley's trends these days aren't great either. Their stock price is lower than it's been in a very, very long time.
Yeah, and I mean, Harley Davidson, they're suffering.
Let's everybody's stock prices.
Yeah, exactly.
Right
I mean, right now,
they haven't been this low since the early 90s.
Yeah,
stocks.
Exactly. And I think it's a tough solution, whichever way you want it. You have a very, very loyal,
aging
fan base who are resistant to change, and
too expensive for young people.
Exactly. I mean, the thought of a young person going in and spending upwards of $20,000 on a Harley Davidson, this is just too far away.
I mean, Sportsters are kind of the bread and butter for them, aren't they?
Sportsters are the bread. I don't know how the new ones are selling.
I don't know how the new ones are, but they have been, as I understand it.
Yeah. And I mean, they're very good bikes.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, it's going to be an interesting couple of years.
So I was just doing a little research about when was the most popular peak for Harley Davidson. And it's interesting, just following up on what you were saying, it said in the late 80s, early 90s, that Harley Davidson had a marketing strategy that created high demand with limited production, leading to waiting periods and increased prices.
Right.
That's how they turned around. Rather than having something for everyone, they limited what they had to create a more special product.
Right. And if you look at how they were pitched back then, they took the everyman motorcycle and it became, for want of a better term, far more specialty product. It's like, yeah, we've got, this very, very special bike. The irony is, and again, I've talked about this before on the podcast, Triumph have spent their whole life trying to sell motorcycles to young executives. And the reality is if you go to any greasy biker bar in England on a Saturday night where the grubbiest and the beardiest and the long-hairediest and the tattooediest hang out, it's all going to be Triumphs parked outside because that's their customer base. But Triumph didn't want to sell them to there. They wanted the young executive. And I think to a certain extent, Harley-Davidson pulled it off because the late 80s, the early 90s, it's when all the accountants and the doctors got into them.
Yeah.
Dennis.
You know, and the dentist.
Yeah.
Dentist,
Well, those are all the
dentist on his Softail.
These were the boomers hitting their, late 40s, 50s,
Right.
who had money all of a sudden.
And
So
suddenly had financial clout.
Yep.
But-
I came this close to buying an XR 1000. So,
But anyway, so there you go. Harley-Davidson AMF years. It was a very, very interesting period.
So
I
the
think-
values on those bikes are coming up now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they had a bad reputation
Right.
for a long time. And am I making this up? Did I hear that that reputation may have been started by like Triumph? No, seriously. That they were trying to kill the reputation of Harley Davidson and talking about how they leaked and Triumph was so much better. Was that?
No.
No. Okay.
No. That was a
Maybe I'm
fallacy.
making
I
that
mean,
up.
Triumph.
Triumph can't complain about leaking.
Yeah. I know.
Triumph
Pot
Triumph always made sure that the Bonneville and the Sportster CH Competition Hot,
Mhm.
which was the sportiest Sportster, were pretty much on a level. And some years Bonneville had it, some years, the Sportster had it. But they were very, very comparable bikes in terms of performance. But yeah, I like the AMF Harley years.
They are making a comeback. Yeah, for a long time they were bad reputation, the years to avoid. Nobody wanted them,
Well, misunderstood.
but
And
the best graphics.
builders like the Ironheads.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because they just got such a great look.
The Ironheads have got a great look. I mean, if you look up a bone stock 74 Sportster, what a handsome bike.
I like the '60s Sportsters better.
But even, and somewhere along the line, they turned a Sportster from a sporty little standard bike into a mini chopper.
Yep.
And they kind of, that's not what a Sportster is.
There's a Sportster there next to the V-Rod
Yeah.
up on the wall.
Yes. So,
as supposed to,
a Sportster.
as
well, good.
it's supposed to run.
So now you guys know a bit more, and hopefully our listeners, because I think a lot of people aren't really familiar with those offshoots. So
AMF bikes were of the time. And I think that's important to note. Should we hold them in higher reverence than we do? I think so. It's easy when we look back at collectible cars, it's always the cars from the 60s that are very, very, they get all the glamour. But cars from the 70s, they're very handsome cars and they're coming up in value. And I think we're going to find Harley Davidsons from the 70s really getting that value now.
So Emma, do you think in your lifetime you will see a Harley scooter once again?
I'm not going to rule anything out.
I mean, we never thought we'd see a Harley electric and a Harley adventure bike.
I think if somebody can find a marketplace for it, and what that would mean is finding sufficient people who like scooters to say, I would be interested in an American-made scooter.
You know what? I think all they need is more fringe, and people will buy it.
What do you think, Bagel? Stars and Stripes paint job and a fringe on the Surrey top.
It
All
needs
the
to be-
fringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the fringe all the time.
All it needs is more cowbell.
Yes, and cowhide.
Well, thank you, Emma. I think it's a fascinating time.
It was a really fascinating period of time. And as somebody who actually lived through it, and remember, in the 70s, I lived in Birmingham and everyone was employed in the motor industry. And I always get I always get a little defensive when people, oh, it's the unions that killed the unions. And people don't realize that it was a combination of many, many things, including quite militant unions, yes, but just shockingly inept management as well. And it was just this combination. But really exciting time to live in.
Yeah.
Well, last week somebody had on Facebook Marketplace I call it a backyard Sportster. They had a bunch of bikes that are just sitting in a backyard. They want to get rid of them. They wanted like $600. I'm like, oh, I'm not buying any new bikes right now. But I thought, oh, that'd be such a fun bike to turn into like a dirt bike.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hill climber,
I know.
scramble bike.
Oh, yeah. So, who knows?
Nice set of pipes on it.
At the right price, and prices are coming down. Yeah, who knows? I might end up with a little Sportster.
So back to Aramaki for a
Mhm.
moment. What eventually ended up happening to Aramaki?
Well, they became Ducatis.
Right,
Oh,
because
really?
Kajiva bought them, and then
Yes. It's all part of the Kajiva group.
And
So
also-
Aramaki was bought out by Kajiva, and Kajiva brought in Ducati, and so
Husqvarna also.
Yeah,
87.
for a minute, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you could argue. I mean, I know they're kind of kissing cousins, but it's a convoluted way of saying they were part of the family. But the two-stroke Harley Davidsons didn't last after the 81 buyout. They went back to just the big V twins. And then they kind of soldiered on for a couple of years as rebadged Kajivas, but
emissions was kind of tightening up then.
Yeah.
exactly.
At that time too.
And Kajiva was far more interested in developing the Ducati brand. So,
Cool. Well, thank you. It's been a while since we had a history hole, and that was something I wanted to learn more
no,
about.
I enjoy doing them. And it's when you dive in, and I'd completely forgotten about the other buyout and how shady it was when it all went down.
Well done.
I wonder how Harley Davidsons would have looked with banger punter Harley Davidson on the tank. Instead of an AMF Harley Davidson, it would have been a BPC Harley Davidson.
I don't know. But it would be interesting.
Oh, these are idle dreams.
Yeah. Well, I know that they said that the Aramakis were brought in. They were racing. They had race bikes like the little 250s. But we haven't seen Harley Davidson racing in a while. Well, I take it back. They are racing in the Hooligan?
The baggers.
Yeah, King of the Baggers and
Right?
the Hooligan ones.
Baggers.
Yeah.
Which is, it's the beginning of the season. Let's find out more about racing. Have you guys watched any racing at all?
Yes, I was just motocross.
Motocross.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that there is a category called King of the Baggers where they're racing giant, like Harleys and Indians with luggage and everything
It's
and fairings?
a popular class. It's
That
getting
they
a lot
race-
of
they race
viewership.
them.
Fun to watch, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're looking at me confused.
Yeah, like what kind of luggage? Like
The side bags and the big fairing and everything?
They just got the bags there. It's nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of
Well,
has
what-
like, did they put
quarter
weights or
No,
fairing.
but when they crash, it's a bit of a yard sale.
Oof.
Yeah. No, it's actually changed Moto America.
Yeah, it's really
A
helping
lot.
out a lot. 'Cause-
Well, John, you've been following racing. I don't as much.
Yeah.
What do we have to look forward to?
So, I'm not going to cover the whole racing world, and I'm not going to do any spoilers.
Ooh.
The Argentinian GP is today, and I won't mention anything about that if you haven't watched it yet. But let's talk about MotoGP, which is my favorite. The year has started. There's some significant issues or things that are going on. So the biggest surprise last season was Marc Marquez moved over to Ducati from Honda,
Ooh.
which is a big deal. So
Crusher Marquez.
exactly, and he won the Thailand GP. Clearly won so he's going to be hard to beat all year long if he stays up on two wheels. Jorge Martin and Marco Bezzecchi went to Aprilia. Morbidelli went to VR46, and Jack Miller went to Pramac Yamaha. So lots of moving around.
Marquez, his brother, Alex, is he still?
Oh, that was such a fun race. I don't know if you guys watched the Thai race. So what happened was the two Marquez brothers were winning that race, And at one point, Marquez pulls off, lets his brother pass him, and then rode for a number of laps behind his brother, and then decided, well, okay, it's time to win again. And so he just basically decided to pass his brother.
With him.
I think it had something to do with cooling, or I don't know. It's got a bit of a head scratcher. I'm sure some of our listeners know better than I do, but I can't find out why he did that. But it was kind of cool to watch.
Because he can.
It's exactly right. It's a really good time to watch Marquez. If he stays healthy this year and stays up on two wheels, it'll be something to watch, because he's looking really good right now. This year, and just to remind everybody, you've got who's in the paddock. You've got Ducati, Yamaha, Honda, KTM, Aprilia, and Gas. So it's a good group of different constructors that are putting bikes down.
It's
this
surprising that both KTM and Gas are ended up being, giving KTM's troubles at the moment.
I know. A lot of people were wondering if they were going to pull out of racing, and I think they had some pressure from the board to pull out, but they were able to keep it in. So at some point, we probably ought to talk about KTM and what the current situation is there, but we won't get into that now.
No. I just want to say, because everyone was commenting on the Fortnite video,
right,
which clearly had a date of a news story from November of last year that they were responding to. I think that we have the most recent comment from KTM.
Well, things can be changed. So.
Emma and I spoke to him. We got the word.
They are saying a lot of things.
They're going to make it, Emma? What do you think?
We got a spin. And you've got to remember that the CEO of the company in America...
North America is not involved with the decision-making.
Right.
I know.
Yes. But it's his job
I know.
to be cheerleader.
Yes.
Oh, God.
He'll be the first one to lose his job. I know. I'm just saying people were commenting, but that wasn't new information. We've had that information.
Right.
That's all.
All I will say is the restructuring appears to be on track of some description.
Where's Banger Punter when you need him?
Yeah, right.
So back to MotoGP. Ducati is on fire. They won 18 consecutive races. So they are the ones to beat this year. Aprilia still looks good. I'm hoping they come up, but Ducati's going to be hard to beat. What I want to give you all is, like, if you don't know MotoGP, I want to give you a couple handles. So you can perhaps get into it, because it's never been easier to watch right now with TNT putting races on. So put your DVD or DVR on and record them, because
what's a
it's
DVR?
Worth it. Yeah, well, I have my DVR goes to the web too.
Yeah.
So
okay.
But I would suggest that you watch Marc Marquez and what's going on with him. He's starting to get a little long in the tooth, so this is a time to really watch to see how he does. And then some of the young guys, Jorge Martin.
I worked for TiVo for 7 years.
Oh, that's great.
From DVRs.
The other handle I would give you is Trackhouse Racing, which is the American racing group. Yeah, and their main riders are Ayagora and Raul Fernandez. I'm always rooting for the American team. We need to have more Americans up in MotoGP, and I know we don't have America racers there yet. Moto2 we do. But not up in the premier class. So, but if you want to see the American team, that's a great team to root for. Did you raise your hand, Neil, or you just scratching?
No.
Okay, good. So keep an eye on Raul and Ayagora. Let's root for them to see how they do this year. So, and Trackhouse got new livery. They look really great. So that's MotoGP. The Argentinian GP is today. And we'll talk a little more about that in the future, so we don't spoil it for anybody. So the other thing I've been watching a lot is American Flat Track, which also just opened at the Daytona. They had two short tracks at Daytona, which is about a quarter-mile round. They're going to have 16-round schedule. Not much in California this year, which is kind of a bummer. But
where in California at all?
I don't think they're at all in California. I could be wrong. They might have one down in the LA region.
Okay, not Sacramento.
Not Sacramento Mile this year. I was shocked.
Oh wow.
I wish they'd bring back the San Jose Mile. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's been paved over and turned into.
Yeah, I know. It's all gone now.
Yeah.
So there's a couple big things that changed in. Actually, let me back up MotoGP. One more thing I want to say. It's a really interesting time to watch right now, because they're going to be transitioning from the leader bikes down to the 850s, I believe. So if you want to see the big bikes race, this is going to be one of your last years to do that. So go watch them now before they step down. I think the racing is going to be even better with the smaller bikes. It might be a little more competitive, but nonetheless, it's kind of interesting to watch. It's similar to that transition they did from 500cc 2-strokes to 4-strokes. So the step down would be interesting to see. Back to American Flat Track. So Jared Mees is done. He was best rider of our generation and has finally retired, and now everything's shaken up. The other big shakeup is Indian is out of American Flat Track. So they made rule changes to say that it had to be a production-based motor, and the Indian didn't have a production-based motor, so they just pulled out completely. Funny enough, Harley is trying to take advantage of this, but they're using the XG 750 motor, which I don't even know if they still sell those things or not, but that's the base of what they have. So, but American Flat Track, so that's a big deal. You've got more people racing now. So more constructors racing. You've got Yamaha, KTM, Husky, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Gas. That's in the 450 class. In the Super Twins, you have Yamaha, Harley, Honda, Kawasaki, and Royal Enfield. I love Royal Enfield being up in there. I'm really kind of rooting for them. Max Whale is riding for them this year. He's been mid-pack so far, but let's hope that Royal Enfield gets up there. It's cool seeing them. Last thing, Moto America just also kicked off. I'm not going to get too much into that other than the Daytona 200. Josh Herron won 3 in a row, and he just continues to dominate the Daytona 200. They only run the 600cc, the super sports there. For some reason. So the other thing I'll say is, as we go through the season, there's a young rider I've been watching for the last few years named Rocco Landers.
I've heard that name, yeah.
And he just moved up to the stock 1000. So this kid is really fast. And I was watching him when he was down in the Junior Cup races. So, let's keep an eye on Rocco. He's a California boy. And maybe he'll move up, and maybe he'll be the guy to go up in the MotoGP. Who knows? So get involved with racing, folks. It's the heart of our sport, and this is the time. There's a lot of great storylines going on, a lot of great opportunities for new people to come up and take Jared's place. You got Marquez doing his thing, so exciting year. So, and like I said before, it is more accessible now than it has ever been. You used to have to buy the pass online for $130. Now you can see it everywhere. So go check it out, and write us in about your favorite racer and your favorite.
And there's a Moto America round at Laguna Seca coming up.
Yeah, that's coming up in the midsummer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. Thanks, John.
Yep.
Hey, John, I was just looking at deals on Facebook Marketplace. Look at that. A Harley Sportster.
I bet you get it for cheaper than that.
$1,900.
Look at those ugly pipes.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah.
That thing
says it was in an accident, so the turn signals and mirrors are busted.
Oh, dear.
Go buy it, Liza. We could be Sportster buddies.
No.
Come on.
No.
You can be.
Yes.
I can go brother.
I don't know.
Brother.
But it is intriguing.
It's better than a Jeep.
It is intriguing. All right, everyone, get your emails out.
Welcome to Jeep Talk with Liza.
So, I've got a bit of a long one. I'm going to start because it's good. So I just want to.
Have you really, Liza?
I do. This one is from our friend Dan, and it's called Baja
Dan.
or Bust.
Hi, Dan.
He says, "Hey,
Dan,
Misfits.
It's Dano.
Dan from Portland, Oregon here. Just wanted to write in about me and my friend Otis's ride in Baja for the first time last week. This is now the second foreign country Otis and I have ridden in together, the first being the first Dolomites trip.
That's right.
With Emma and Kat. So you know who this is, right?
Oh, yes.
To set the scene, we have to go back to April of last year. I found myself in Moab, Utah, photographing the Moscow Moto Dusty Lizard Rally. I ended up going for a ride with a few folks I've never met before, and two of them, Aldo and Sergio, were from Tijuana. We had a great time riding out to Chicken Corners and back, and we exchanged contact info and have kept in touch. About 2 months ago, Aldo got in touch with a group ride he was organizing down in Catavinia in Baja. I was hesitant at first, but my work calendar cleared up and I decided to commit to go. I asked Aldo if my friend Otis, a friend from high school who got me into motorcycle riding, could join, and he said absolutely. So loaded up my gear and bike in Portland and drove down to the Bay Area. The next day I headed to Oakland, and Otis and I loaded up our WR250Rs on the back of his beat up but drivable two-wheel drive Tacoma and headed south. The next morning, we found ourselves across the border in Tijuana. That's happened to many people. I've heard.
Tacos.
They just find themselves. They wake up in Tijuana.
It happens.
And he got to meet 20 new friends who were all coming on the ride. People were from Mexico City, Tijuana, Ensenada, Guatemala, and El Salvador. They loaded up in caravan down Highway 1, stopping at great Marisco spots, roadside cantinas that overlooked the Baja 1000 course. And by the following morning, they found themselves in Catavinia, which would be their home base. So the following 3 days were filled with some amazing desert riding. Everyone else was on KTM and Husky 2-strokes, but Otis and I's WR250Rs were heavier with less power and still did a great job in the deep sandy washes, getting up and down some rocky step-ups and slicing around the cactus and Chihuahua in the single track. The riding was more difficult than my skill set, and I was overwhelmed on the first day, but slowly you start picking up on technique and confidence in the bike, making sure your weight is as far back as possible in those endless deep sandy washes. One of the main things that helped was actually swapping out our tubes for mousses before we left. Everyone I know who has ridden in that area of Baja said you have to use mousses, and I'm so glad we did. Would have been nonstop flats because the rocks and cactus spines, plus not carrying spare tubes and tire levers, saved us a ton of weight and hassle. I'm just going to say, I don't like sand or cactus.
Especially teddy bear.
Oh, my
cactus.
gosh. So he says we had no major mechanical problems across 16 motorcycles, no major injuries, despite having to stop multiple times to pull cactus spines out of some people's arms and legs.
Ouch.
We were all sore, tired, but grinning every night when we made it back to our home base. Otis and I cut out from the group halfway through the third day of riding to try and get up to the highest point in Baja. We ended up riding about 30 miles of Jeep trails and then hit the main road up to San Pedro de Martir, where we headed up, seeing about 10 California condors and a good amount of snow at the top. Anyways, this is the beautiful thing about motorcycles in this community. There's just some common mental wavelength most of us are all on that allows us to all connect, share experiences and hospitality because of these internal two-wheeled machines. It's the best. See you all at the One Show.
All right.
Thanks, Dan. Does this sell you, Emma, on doing a Baja ride?
I'd love to do a Baja
Deep
ride.
sand washes
Yes.
and cactus spines.
Yes. CR 500 with a paddle race.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's all you need, baby.
All right, Bagel, you have one there?
I do. I have an email here from Curtis Elwood.
Good luck. Good luck, Bagel.
Yes. He says, "Hello, Misfits. I hope you're all doing great.
Where, just stop. Where's Curtis from, darling?
Curtis here from Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Oh, sure he is now. It's a lying on the floor like a bag of shite.
Originally. No, you don't have to read this email with my accent, but I will anyway. First off, I want to say I've been absolutely loving your podcast since I started listening to it several weeks ago. I'm a CG artist / animator working at a studio in Denmark. And although I love my job as is, it makes each day so much, listening to your podcast as I work makes each day so much better. I enjoy playing along with Liza's games and listening to Miss Emma's history knowledge about motorcycles the most.
Check.
Truthfully,
Check.
It can be quite distracting from my work, but I can't help but listen on.
Aww.
Anyways, unfortunately, I don't own a motorcycle of my own just yet, as I only moved to Denmark last August with my girlfriend, and we've been spending some more time settling in. But now that I've officially settled in, I've been looking to get myself a cheap and cheerful commuter bike to get me to and from work.
You need a Nimbus.
as well as to have for the odd coastal rides during the weekends. So far, I've been looking at some Honda Shadow VT600s or the 1994 Kawasaki ZXR 750, both off of Facebook Marketplace. I know, two completely different types of bike, but I love the look and can't decide right now what I'd prefer.
You want to spend... Well, go ahead. Keep going, Bagel.
I just know that I like the vintage look. To be honest, I'd want an Interceptor 650, but don't have the funds right now for that type of beauty. So something cheaper from Facebook Marketplace I think will do as my 6-month bike for now.
Yes.
And upgrade eventually. But enough about that. I have a question for Emma.
Hello, darling.
At my last job, I worked in a motorcycle gear store. I helped customers get fitted into the right gear for the road, from new riders to the super experienced. And I was wondering if Emma has any history knowledge about my motorcycle gear or any brands in particular. Maybe she could do a history hole on. I'd love to hear it.
Bates Leathers.
And
Go
overall,
Yep.
I'd like to know what brands everyone prefers to have when riding and buying new stuff. Personally, I like Builtwell and Arai helmets and Risha clothing. But what is yours? Maybe you've already talked about this. I don't know, but I have 500 bloody episodes I'm having to listen to catch up. Keep doing what you're doing. You folks are awesome. I wish to get myself to the US sometime for a motorcycle trip and stop by the garage. It would be an honor to meet you all in person. Hopefully someday. And maybe join on your trip some year. Keep it cool, Curtis.
Aw.
Oh, what a lovely email.
That's nice.
That's a great question. I mean, like, I just found out when we were recently that MSR was Malcolm Smith Racing,
Yep.
that he
Yes.
developed that. Bates is a great one. That's a long history of family
Torsten Hallman
business,
Leathers.
right?
Oh, absolutely. And then,
yeah.
Maybe could you put that in your? If there's something that has a
I
really
think
good,
that may-
interesting story.
yeah, because you've got the American side,
High Point boots.
and then you've
Yeah.
got
Oh,
the
yeah.
Vance
then you got
and
the
leathers.
British
Yeah.
side.
Eh,
know.
And
well,
European
yeah, we have talked
manufacturers
about
as well.
High Point
Amazing.
from I got him signed the
Bellstaff, right? Too?
no,
Right.
no.
Oh yeah, Belstaff.
Oh, High Point. Oh.
Yeah.
High Point. I got his autograph right there. John, not John.
Dunlop.
No, help me. Husqvarna bikes.
What? Who?
Who brought the Husqvarna bikes and then created the High Point?
I
gear.
don't know.
Vintage Days.
I used to
I
know
would
this.
say hi to him.
I wonder.
Not Penton.
Penton?
Right?
Penton.
yeah.
Thank you,
Oh,
John Penton.
John Penton.
Yeah, that's who brought the High Points.
But I mean, you
Uh-huh.
can't talk about English gear without talking about Belstaff,
Right.
without talking about Barber, who were another manufacturer, about Oxford Leathers.
And wax
Lewis Leathers was another big player.
Put that on your list. We've never talked about gear.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that. I can tell you what my favorite gear is, whatever is free or cheap.
Yes. It's funny. You used to be able to buy these waterproof boots in England called Derry boots, and they were kind of glorified Wellington boots. And when you took them off, it always smelled like drain.
Oh, no.
Like what?
You get
Like
the stink foot.
drains.
Drains.
That
Ugh.
bad drains.
Like a sink drain?
Oh, no.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. There was a very peculiar smell when you took your Derry boots off.
All right, what do you got there, John?
I got Ken from Connecticut.
Hey, Ken.
He's a happy survivor of the Dolomites from 23.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Illustrious Misfits. I want to take a moment and respond to last week's discussion of
Yeah.
priming a motorcycle, which clearly I got wrong. As a number of you commented, I am not saying you were wrong. Oh well, but I think you gave the answer.
Are you talking about tickling?
No, we're not. That's the
so
answer.
somebody
I had.
asked us what priming meant,
That's the answer I had.
and we had different
Yeah.
versions of it.
But I don't think you gave the answer the writer was looking for. So your answer's focused on what is usually called a tickler.
But we did in that we said it's filling the carburetors.
Right.
No, that's not
Yes.
priming,
No,
darling.
Yes.
It's getting the gas
Listen.
up to the jet.
No. Listen.
These squirt or dribble fuel directly into the venturi of the carburetor so that the engine has a rich mixture for starting. You'll see
Right.
similar systems on a modern lawn equipment using a bulb primer. You rarely see them on motorcycles after the
Mhm.
1960s when chokes or enrichment circuits became more common. I believe what the writer was referring to was the prime setting on a motorcycle fuel petcock. Starting in the mid-70s,
right.
motorcycles typically came equipped with a vacuum-operated petcock. Prior to this, like my 1974 BMW R96/6, you had to remember to manually open the fuel valve for every ride or risk stalling in the middle of the first intersection. Remember to close it when you were finished or risk emptying your fuel tank onto the garage floor overnight. Ask me how I know. For the vacuum petcock, vacuum pressure from the intake manifold pulls on a diaphragm allowing fuel to flow. The problem comes if it has been sitting for a long time and the carburetor bowl is evaporated dry. Now you don't have enough ready fuel to start the bike, and with the bike not running, there's enough vacuum pressure to pull sufficiently on the diaphragm. So in addition to on and reserve, these vacuum petcocks will also have a prime position. The on position relies on the vacuum diaphragm, but when the petcock is on prime, fuel is allowed to flow freely and fill the carburetor bowls for starting. I usually turn mine to prime for about 30 seconds and return it to on. Otherwise, I will forget and leave it in prime, risk emptying my fuel tank onto the garage floor overnight again.
You know, Emma, that reminds me, to me, it seems like that was kind of a window in time when bikes had a petcock because they had a reserve.
Right.
And then you had this whole vacuum operated petcock.
Right.
Which now there is no petcock. It's just
a fuel pump.
Fuel injection.
Exactly.
Well, even
And so
carbureted
how long was that
systems
window
are
in time where you'd have a petcock
Not
with the
McKellar.
prime because it was a vacuum
Oh,
operated?
I would say
10 years maybe?
My-
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
after
very long.
1200 did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so
early 70s
that
to
could
early
be,
80s.
priming. But we did say to fill the carburetor,
Right.
either on like a lawnmower, how you have to prime it by pressing it to pump it in, or in this case, turn it on to fill the carburetor.
And you know, there's a third definition, and it usually occurs on big singles, is you prime a big single by pulling the decompressor
Right.
and kicking it over 2 or 3 times to actually suck fuel through the jets of the carburetor and get a little fuel in the combustion chamber. And then it's primed, and then you let go of the decompressor and boom, off you go.
It's very similar. Do you know, John, the best way to prime Emma?
That would be gin.
Yes.
I was going to say compliment her shoes.
Oh, which one's better?
Gin
Gin or shoes?
No,
Gin?
gin.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
Oh, God almighty.
And he says he's going to be in Mid-Ohio this week.
Yo.
Oh!
Come find us in the hood. Nice. All right, Emma, you got one there?
This is quite a long one.
Are you going to paraphrase it?
No, I'm going to read it throughout because I mean it's a letter about a friend, and normally I don't get involved in stuff like this, but I think there's value here for all of us. So anyway, my dearest misfits, I hope you don't mind the email, especially as I've sent a few lately. If you want to read this on the podcast or not, either is fine. And by the way, this is from Alex G.
Hey, Alex.
Earlier this week, I lost a good friend. The world didn't deserve him, but for over 80 years, he blessed the earth with his grace. I'm nearly 50 years his junior, but he was always a mentor, a safe place, and a friend. I would like to try telling this story in a misfits way, so here goes nothing. And this is titled A Ride Report 25 Years in the Making. So late summer in the early 2000s, I was an adolescent full of angst, and as you would expect, having a difficult time at school and home. A member of my church, Mr. T, had a tradition of taking each prospective student for the upcoming year's confirmation class out for ice cream to formally invite them to the class. But this year was different. This was the first year that he had a motorcycle. Not only had I never been on a motorcycle before, I'd never even touched a motorcycle before. And the problem was my parents were vehemently against motorcycles. My mother had been engaged to someone prior to my father who was killed on his bike, and my father had a disgust for anything outside the norm. But through my begging and through Mr. T's assurance that I would be fine, unbelievably, my parents agreed to let him take me for ice cream on his motorcycle. I waited on the back deck for what felt like forever until I heard the unmistakable sound of a motorcycle coming up the road, right on time. My dad drove me down to the end of our long driveway, and as we approached, there they were, Mr. T, with a smile so wide it filled the front of his three-quarter helmet, and a brand new 2002 Harley Davidson Road King Classic in luxury rich red pearl. I was so excited and filled with so much adrenaline that I didn't hear anything he told me as I put your helmet on upside down. I suspect he meant back to front. After wishing I could crawl in a hole, Mr. T helped me fix the helmet and helped me laugh it off. He showed me how to get onto the motorcycle, how to sit and lean, how to wave, where to hold, and then with a turn of his head and he said ready, started it up, and oh my, the vibrations from the iconic engine went through my whole body. Sound, wow. The lopey idol I had ever known through the open window of a car as a Harley Davidson sat in the traffic light now was right underneath me. The bike felt alive. We pulled out of the driveway, and as we passed 20 miles an hour, I started to feel the wind on my body like I had never felt before. It was as if I'd transcended to another world. I felt like I was flying. Riding through a couple of back roads, Mr. T and his Road King glided so sweetly through the curves and over the hills, like a conductor perfectly conducting a symphony. I think that's a good way of describing riding a bike in the country.
It sounds like one of my Mad Libs.
It does, doesn't it? We soon got to a stop sign and got on to a main road, and after turning, he opened it up. Had there not been a backrest, I'd have gone flying off the back. As I grabbed on, my heart was in my throat, but nothing could stifle my amazement of the ride. Pulling into the ice cream shop, I felt like a celebrity in a parade on the back of his Road King. Even with the stock exhaust, people who were standing in line turned to look and see what we were pulling in. Where are we? Here we go. We sat and talked about so much, I had prior unknown sense of clarity in my mind as to where I felt I was able to absorb our conversation in a new way. Mr. T was amazingly understanding of how I felt at that difficult age. I felt heard for the first time. After what felt like just minutes, but actually almost an hour, we got back onto the motorcycle to head back to my home. Partway back, as the sun gave a warm glow to the sky and melted behind the hills, we stopped to the dawn windbreakers. Even though they were new, they already smelled like the rich leather of the saddlebags. On the wave of meditative bliss that touched all my senses, it was very eloquent, Mr. T and his Harley Davidson carried me back to the end of my driveway. After a handshake and a sincere thank you from Mr. T, I walked back up the long driveway, still smelling the leather and wind on my clothes, wondering what the heck I just experienced. I laid in bed that night, my feet still tingling, wide awake thinking about the ride. That day, the course of my life has been changed forever. So, Mr. T, thank you for everything. Through the years, you've been a great influence on myself and many others. And now, as I soon walk down to my garage and swing a leg over my beloved Motor Guzzi to attend your viewing, I have to thank you for introducing me to my greatest love, behind my family and friends, of course. It is something I cherish and hope to never take for granted. To all of you misfits, thank you for taking the time to read this. I appreciate it deeply. I felt compelled to eulogize Mr. T, so I hope you don't mind. Thank you also for being a positive light in my life. You have all enhanced my journey and brought me so much enjoyment. Till we talk again, Alex G.
And I pity the fool who don't ride a motorcycle.
Well, you know, everyone has, you know, that person in their life that they introduce motorcycles to. And I mean, yours was your father, of course. And mine was, you know, Ross's boyfriend who sat me on the gas tank of his Bonneville, you know, all those years ago.
And mine was, I was born this way.
Oh, very good. Actually, yeah, you really didn't have a motorcycle influence in your life. You were it, weren't you, Liza? You were drawn to it.
Yeah.
Drawn to it, I tell you. But yeah, that was a lovely email. And yes, I hope Mr. T finds good riding in heaven.
Thank you very much. Emma, we have been looking at Facebook Marketplace. Wow, the market is really coming down.
Well,
Wow.
nobody's got any bloody money. That's the problem.
You got $850?
Oh, yes, in my back pocket.
I have a
of course.
1970 VW trike for you.
Oh, my God.
You got to get that. But no, there's some amazing.
Could resell the engine bits for that.
There was another Sportster I found. Some good deals. So y'all take a look. Prices are coming down. Good stuff to see. Let's say thank you very much for everyone. You made it. This is the end of the show. You guys have been so quiet over there. You made it. What do you think? First time seeing how for you, the sausage is made?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And I look forward to hopefully coming back.
No, you're welcome back anytime.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is about our show is all different viewpoints are valid here. And having someone as yourself and having Sophia, who's just starting out.
Well, not just valid, but valuable.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
And
we want to
appreciated.
hear more. We want to hear more. I'm very, very interested in your journey, Sophia. And I'm very, very interested about hearing more about the early influences on your motorcycling and dealing with the DMV. And that's going to be a
yes.
show in itself.
As we've been talking about bikes, I always look around in the room because we're we're covered with bikes here everywhere. And I always like, oh, yeah, all right, there's a Ducati. Oh, there's a Harley. I think, did I find is that a Cagiva up in the corner next to the BMW? The race bike? No, Garelli. Oh.
Yeah, it's a Garelli.
Oh, no. Damn it. I don't know if I have a Cagiva in here.
No,
I thought you
Cagiva.
had a Paso up there somewhere.
I think I have a Cagiva somewhere. I'll have to keep looking for it.
No, Cagiva never really had a massive race program. In my humble opinion, Cagiva's jewel in the crown is the elephant.
The elephant,
Oh,
exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
I hope that everybody's learned something today, including you guys.
Yeah, still learned
Here.
a lot.
That's something that we just love sharing. And we want to hear from you. What do you want to hear us talk about? Send us your questions, your suggestions. Emma, where can they send it to?
Whatever the bloody hell they want.
You have no idea what our email address is,
Complaints
do
at
you?
clevelandmoto.com.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't deal with details like that, Liza. You know that, sweetie.
motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com.
Who the hell are they?
Send us your emails. And don't forget, become a Patreon supporter if you can. We really appreciate it. And get a free t-shirt.
Yeah, and send me a picture of your cat. I want to see a picture of your cat.
That's
yeah.
just going to go wrong.
No, it's not going to go wrong. Send me a picture of your cat on your motorcycle.
Okay. All
Show
right.
us your pussy on your motorcycle.
No,
No,
I told you, Emma. I told
That's
you.
not
That's just go
what-
wrong.
what?
All right.
You guys have dirty
Thank you,
minds.
everybody.
Dirty
Go to
minds.
your mouth out with
motorcyclesandmisfits.com, and you'll find links to everything there, as well as in the show notes. I put the links
All
to
the things.
everything we've talked about. So check it out there. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Time to get out of here. This is Liza.
Stumpy John.
Emma, darling.
It's Neil.
Sophia.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.